your English podcast.
Hello, everyone. A huge high energy welcome to all of our listeners tuning in from around the world. Welcome back to your English podcast. I am so excited to be here with you today for what I think is going to be a really game-changing conversation. My name is Alex.
And it is wonderful to be back with you all. My name is Nina.
So we have a topic today that I think is going to resonate. Actually, no. I think it's going to strike a deep, painful nerve with almost everyone listening right now. It is the single most common frustration I hear from people learning English.
Yeah.
It's, the elephant in the room.
I have a feeling I know exactly what you're talking about. Is it that classic, I understand everything, but I can't say a single word dilemma?
That is exactly it. It's the passive knowledge trap.
Yes.
Our listeners are smart people. They're listening to this very deep dive right now. They understand us perfectly. They watch movies, maybe with subtitles, maybe without. They can read complex articles in the New York Times or, technical documentation for their jobs. But the exact second, they have to open their mouths to speak.
Freeze.
Total silence. Nothing. It's gone.
It is so incredibly frustrating. It feels like you are trapped inside your own head, doesn't it?
It does.
You have these complex thoughts. You have the vocabulary stored away somewhere in the back of your mind. But there is this huge disconnect between the brain and the mouth. We actually have a name for this in linguistics.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we call it the input-output asymmetry.
Input-output asymmetry. Okay, that sounds like a very technical way of saying my brain works, but my mouth is broken.
That's essentially it, yes. It explains why your receptive skills, so listening and reading, can be at a C1 or even an advanced level.
Right.
While your productive skills, your speaking and your writing, might still feel stuck way back at A2 or B1.
So it's not just a feeling. It's a real documented phenomenon.
It's very real. And it's not just a matter of practice, in the vague sense. It's a matter of how the brain encodes and retrieves information for different tasks.
Exactly. It's like having a library full of books, but the door is locked. You can see all the knowledge through the window, but you can't get it out.
What a perfect analogy.
So today, our mission is to find the key. We're going to unlock that door, and I want to be really clear with everyone right from the start.
Okay.
We are not talking about grammar rules today. We aren't going to spend an hour on the present perfect continuous tense or when to use in versus on.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Right. This is not a grammar lesson.
No, today is about psychology and maybe even more crucially, the physical mechanics of speaking.
The physical mechanics. I love that.
We want to help you, the listener, move from that exhausting process of translating everything in your head to actually thinking in English.
And we have so much to cover. We're going to talk about muscle memory and why your tongue might actually be the problem, not your brain.
A huge part of it, yes.
We're going to talk about why you should narrate your life like you're the star of a movie.
A great technique.
And we're going to do a serious deep dive into a technique called shadowing. And I mean a real deep dive, because I think most people are doing it wrong.
There really are. It gets misunderstood all the time.
But first, let's just unpack this feeling of being stuck a little more. Why is it so hard to cross that bridge from mute to fluent? Why is that asymmetry so strong?
Well, I think we need to fundamentally change how we view language learning in the first place.
How so?
Most people treat English like it's history or mathematics, They think it's a subject you study.
Right. You get a textbook, you memorize facts.
You memorize facts, you learn rules, you take a quiz, and then boom, you know English.
Yeah, data in, data out. If I learn the rule, I should be able to apply the rule. Simple logic.
But speaking isn't a test of facts. Speaking is a physical performance. It's a motor skill. And this is where I like to bring in what I call the piano analogy.
I love this analogy. I think it explains so much. Please break it down for us.
Okay, so imagine you want to learn to play the piano. You can buy every book ever written about music theory.
All of them.
You can study the life of Beethoven. You can memorize exactly which key on the piano makes which note. You can understand music intellectually 100%. You know what a C major chord looks like on paper.
Okay, I have all the knowledge.
You have all the knowledge. But if you sit down at a grand piano for the very first time, can you play a concerto?
Absolutely not. No way. My fingers wouldn't know where to go.
Why not?
They'd be stiff. They'd be like stumbling over each other. They'd be hitting two keys at once. It would sound awful.
Exactly, because you haven't built the muscle memory. Speaking a language is so much more like playing a sport or an instrument than it is like studying a textbook. It involves physical muscles, your tongue, your lips, your jaw, your vocal cords, even your diaphragm for breath support.
Right.
And those muscles need to move in very specific, coordinated ways that your native language might have never, ever required them to move.
That is such a crucial shift in perspective. I think so many learners, they blame their intelligence.
They do.
They think, I'm not smart enough because I can't speak. Or they think they have a memory problem. But what you're saying is, it's not about being smart. It's about, well, it's like gym class for your mouth.
Precisely. It's a workout. We need to distinguish between two types of memory. There's declarative memory and procedural memory.
Okay.
Declarative memory is for facts. The capital of France is Paris. The past tense of go is went. You can learn that in a second from a book.
Got it.
Facts. Procedural memory is for skills. Riding a bike, tying your shoes, or playing a scale on the piano. You cannot learn procedural memory by reading about it. You can only learn it by doing it over and over until it becomes an unconscious reflex.
And when we speak our native language, it's entirely procedural, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think, okay, tongue, you need to move to the roof of the mouth now to make a T sound. It just happens.
It just happens. It's automatic. But when you switch to English, suddenly you are trying to use your declarative memory, your book knowledge, to drive a procedural process. You're thinking about the rules while you're trying to move the muscles.
It's like trying to ride a bike by consciously thinking, okay, now I must apply 15 newtons of force to the left pedal while adjusting my center of gravity by 3 degrees.
You're going to fall over.
You're going to fall. You're going to crash.
And let's get really specific about the muscles for a second, because this is important. We're talking about articulatory phonetics here. The tongue is a massive muscle.
It is, isn't it? It's huge.
It's huge. And it has what we call resting positions and choreographed moves that are hardwired from your native language since you were a baby.
So my tongue is just, like, comfortable doing things the old way.
Very comfortable. For example, if you speak Spanish or Japanese, your tongue moves in a very specific forward range of motion. But English requires a completely different choreography. Let's take the American R sound.
Ah, the pirate sound. R.
The pirate sound, right. To make that sound, your tongue has to curl back in your mouth in a way that it doesn't touch the roof. It's like it's doing a backflip.
Okay.
If your tongue has never done that before, it's going to be weak. The muscle isn't trained for that movement. It's going to feel clumsy. You physically cannot produce the sound fluently until you have trained that specific muscle.
So when a listener feels their mouth getting physically tired after speaking English for just 10 minutes, that's not a bad sign.
It's a fantastic sign.
Really?
Yes, it means you are doing the workout. It's like your legs shaking after a good run. If your mouth isn't tired, you probably aren't exaggerating the new sounds enough to build that new muscle memory. You're not pushing yourself.
That is so reassuring. So the goal then is to bypass the intellectual brain, the part that knows the rules, and directly engage the physical reflex.
Yes. We want to cut the wire, basically, that goes from the translation center in your brain to your mouth.
Okay.
And build a new direct line from concept to movement.
And that translation center you mentioned, that's where the bottleneck is, isn't it? That's where the famous translation lag lives.
The translation lag is the #1 enemy of fluency.
Yummy.
It is. Let me walk you through what happens in the brain of a struggling learner. It's a multi-step process that's just too slow.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, you have a thought. Let's say you feel that sensation in your stomach and you want to say, I am hungry. That thought starts as a pure concept, a feeling, but your brain immediately grabs the word in your native language.
Right, so if I'm a native French speaker, my brain thinks, j'ai faim.
Exactly. That's step 1. Then step 2, your brain acts like a dictionary. It looks up I, then it looks up am, then hungry.
Okay, so it's translating word for word.
Word for word. Then step 3, the grammar check. Your brain goes, wait a minute. In French, I have hunger, but the rule in English is that I am hungry. Okay, switch the verb from avoir to be.
And all of this is happening in milliseconds, but it's still adding up.
It's adding up. And then finally, step 4, it sends the signal to your mouth to produce the sounds. By the time you do all that processing, the person you're talking to has already moved on. The conversation is gone.
It's like trying to run a marathon while carrying a backpack full of bricks. It's just too heavy and way too slow. And it explains why listening to a non-fluent speaker can sometimes feel a bit laborious. Not because they're bad, but because you can almost see the gears turning in their head.
And think about how exhausting that is for the speaker.
Oh, yeah.
That is why people feel so mentally drained after a short conversation. Their brains are overheating from all that processing. We call this cognitive load.
Cognitive load.
If your brain is using 90% of its CPU just to translate words and check grammar, you only have 10% left to actually listen to the other person, or to think about what you really want to say, or to notice their body language.
You're so focused on the how that you lose the what.
You lose the what and the why. You lose the connection.
Okay, so we have identified the villain. The villain is the translation lag, powered by a lack of muscle memory.
A powerful villain.
And we know the goal, bypass the translation. But how do we actually do that? Because it's so easy for us to sit here and say, just think in English. But, I mean, that feels impossible when you're starting out.
It does feel impossible if you try to do too much too soon. You don't start by trying to debate philosophy and English in your head.
Right.
You start small. You start by breaking the translation habit with what I call narrating your life.
Narrating your life. Okay, I've heard this mentioned before, but walk us through the practical application. What does this actually look like on a random Tuesday morning?
It's the perfect low-stakes way to practice thinking in English because nobody is listening. There's no pressure. You are just talking to yourself, either internally or, and this is better for the muscles, out loud.
Out loud is better. Got it.
Let's say you are in your kitchen making coffee. Instead of letting your mind wander in your native language or worrying about your to-do list for work, you simply describe what you are doing in real-time, simple English.
Okay, so I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm reaching for the coffee machine.
Say it. I am picking up the kettle. I am filling it with water.
The water is cold.
I am turning on the switch. Now I am waiting. I'm tired. Where is the sugar?
Just simple, direct observations about my immediate reality.
Exactly. It sounds incredibly basic, doesn't it? Maybe even a bit childish. But think about what is happening neurologically.
What's happening?
You are connecting the physical action, the sensation of the cold water, the weight of the kettle in your hand, directly to the English phrase. You are cutting out the middleman.
The middleman being my native language.
Precisely. You aren't thinking kettle in, say, Spanish and then translating it. You are seeing the object, feeling the object, and your brain is directly linking it to the English word kettle.
It effectively turns your daily routine into a personalized language lab.
It does.
And the beauty of it is you could do this absolutely anywhere. In the shower, driving to work, walking the dog.
Oh, definitely. I am walking. The dog is sniffing that tree.
Yeah.
The car in front of me is red.
The traffic light is green.
And if you want to take this a step further, you can play what I call the naming game. This is brilliant for finding and filling your vocabulary gaps.
The naming game. Okay, how does it work?
You just walk around your house or your office or even a park and you name every single object you see in English.
So, lamp, chair, ceiling, carpet, power outlet.
Yes. And this is where it gets really interesting. What happens if you see something, let's say a specific kitchen tool, like a spatula, and you don't know the word?
That's the moment of truth.
That is the golden moment. You stop, you don't just skip it, you take out your phone and you look it up immediately, right then and there.
Why immediately? Why not write it down for later?
Because that is a gap in your knowledge that is directly relevant to your immediate environment. If you look up the word spatula while you are literally holding the spatula, the retention rate is massive.
That makes so much sense. Context is everything for memory, isn't it?
Everything. You're attaching the word to an image, to a tactile experience, to a memory, not just to a translation on a digital flashcard.
And to reinforce that even more, you can use visual cues around your house. This is a classic tip, but I want you to explain why it works so well. I'm talking about sticky notes.
Ah, the sticky note method. I love it.
I've seen people do this in movies. It feels a bit cliche, but does it work?
It works because of passive visual repetition. It's so simple. Put a sticky note on your mirror that says mirror. Put one on the fridge that says fridge. Put one on the shelf. Be specific. Put one on the cupboard handle.
So every time you walk past it,
your brain passively registers the English word. It becomes subconscious.
Wow.
After a week, you stop seeing an espejo or a zrcalo and you just see a mirror. The English word becomes the primary label for that object in your brain.
It's all about hacking your environment, isn't it? Making English completely unavoidable.
Absolutely. Immersion doesn't mean you have to pack your bags and move to London or New York or Sydney. That's a huge privilege not everyone has. You can create a powerful digital immersion right where you are.
Let's talk about that. Your phone, for instance. How many times a day do you look at your phone?
Too many. Hundreds, probably. So the first thing I look at in the morning and the last thing at night.
Exactly. So imagine if every single time you looked at it, the entire interface was in English.
Oh, changing your phone's language settings. That's a big one.
It's one of the easiest, lowest effort, highest impact things you can do to force your brain to switch modes. It's a bit scary at first, I know. You
Yeah.
might not know where the settings tab is anymore.
But you figure it out. You figure it out quickly because you know your phone intuitively from muscle memory.
And in the process, you're forced to learn that really practical, functional vocabulary. Settings, privacy, notifications, airplane mode, low battery. These are words you will see 50 times a day.
And don't forget about background noise. This is another part of hacking your environment.
What do you mean?
Keep English radio or podcasts like this one playing quietly in the background while you cook or clean. Even if you aren't listening actively, 100%, your brain is tuning in to the frequency of the language.
So it's getting used to the rhythm, the intonation.
The melody, the rise and fall of the voice. It's priming your brain to recognize the patterns of English speech.
Speaking of our podcast, I have to ask our listeners right now, have you tried changing your phone language yet?
Good question.
If not, I challenge you to do it right now. I mean it. Pause this deep dive, go to your settings, and switch it to English. It's a small step, but it signals to your brain that you are serious about this.
It's a statement of intent.
It really is.
Yeah.
And hey, if you are enjoying these tips so far and want to make sure you keep getting them, please do hit that subscribe button. We release these deep dives regularly, and we don't want you to miss out on the next step of your journey.
Yes, please do subscribe. We love building this community of dedicated learners, and we have some really technical, powerful stuff coming up in the next few minutes.
Okay, we've talked about the mechanics, the piano analogy, the muscle memory. We've talked about hacking the environment, sticky notes, and narrating your day. But I want to switch gears now to something a bit deeper, the emotional side. Because I think for a lot of people, the problem isn't that they don't know the word kettle. It's that they are absolutely terrified to say it out loud.
The emotional side is huge. We can't ignore it. It might be the biggest piece of the puzzle.
I'm talking about the fear. The sweaty palms, the racing heart, the feeling of your mind going completely blank, the fear of mistakes. I feel like this is the biggest wall standing between mute and fluent.
It absolutely is. In linguistics, we have a concept for this, developed by the linguist Stephen Krashen. He called it the affective filter.
The affective filter, okay, what is that?
It's an imaginary barrier. Krashen's hypothesis is that if your anxiety or filter is high, it literally blocks the language input from reaching the language acquisition parts of your brain.
So if you're stressed, you literally cannot learn or speak effectively.
Exactly. Your brain goes into fight or flight mode. It shuts down non-essential functions like complex language processing to focus on survival. And for an adult learner, a conversation can feel like a survival situation.
And this is compounded by perfectionism, right?
Oh, massively. We are adults. We are competent professionals in our own language. We're doctors, engineers, artists. We don't like to feel foolish. We don't like to sound like children.
So we create this rule for ourselves.
Right.
I will only speak when I am 100% sure the sentence is perfect.
And since you're never 100% sure,
You never speak.
you never speak. It's a vicious cycle. The silence guarantees you won't make a mistake, but it also guarantees you won't improve. You are protecting your ego, but you are sacrificing your progress.
So how do we reframe this? How do we break that cycle and stop being so terrified of messing up?
We have to change the narrative completely. We need to stop seeing mistakes as failures or embarrassments and start seeing them as data.
Data. I like that. It's objective. Explain that more.
Think about a baby learning to walk. When they stand up and then fall down, do we say, oh, look at that idiot, they failed at walking. They should probably just give up and crawl forever.
Of course not. That's absurd. We cheer.
We cheer. We know that the wobbling and the falling is the actual mechanism of learning. The brain uses the data from the fall to recalibrate its balance. Okay, I leaned too far left that time. Next time I'll try leaning right.
Right. You cannot learn to ride a bike without wobbling. So a mistake in English, like using the wrong preposition, just means you're pushing the boundaries of what you know.
Exactly. If you aren't making mistakes, you probably aren't trying anything new. You're playing it too safe, staying in your comfort zone.
If your English is perfect every time you speak, you aren't learning. You're just reciting what you already mastered months ago.
Perfectly said. So we need to embrace the mistake. And there's a technique for this that is, well, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is incredibly effective for overcoming this fear and getting that objective data you mentioned.
Okay, lay it on us. What is it?
The recording technique.
Oh boy. I know what you're going to say, and I'm already cringing just thinking about it. Most people hate the sound of their own voice.
I know. It is so uncomfortable. Nobody likes hearing themselves on a recording. We all think we sound weird or high-pitched. But that discomfort is where the growth happens.
Okay, so what's the protocol? How do we do it?
You take your phone, you open the voice memo app, and you just talk for 1 minute. Just one. Talk about your day. Talk about a movie you saw, describe the room you were in, anything.
Okay, I can do that.
Then, and this is the most important part, do not listen to it immediately.
Why not? Why the delay?
Because if you listen right away, you are still in speaker mode. You are still emotionally attached to what you just said. You'll be critical and emotional. You need to let that affective filter cool down.
So you need to create some distance.
Yes. Wait a few hours. Wait until the next day. Then listen to it.
And what happens when I listen the next day?
You switch into teacher mode. You gain objective distance. You will listen and you will hear things you didn't realize you were saying in the moment.
Like what?
You might hear, oh, wow, I forgot the S on the third person singular 3 times. Or, my pronunciation of the sound was a bit off there. It sounded more like a D. Or, I say way too much between my sentences.
That's fascinating because when we're speaking in the moment, our brain is too busy focusing on what to say, the content, to properly monitor how we are saying it, the form.
Exactly. We call this monitoring. It's incredibly difficult to monitor while you're also producing the language. The recording gives you that external monitor. It lets you be the listener.
And it also gives you a record of progress, right?
The best record of progress. If you keep those 1-minute recordings and you listen to one from 6 months ago, you will be absolutely amazed at how much you have improved. And that builds real, earned confidence like nothing else.
It's proof. It's tangible proof that your hard work is paying off. So, listeners, be brave. Record yourself. Treat it like a science experiment, not a judgment session.
Now, speaking of recording and mimicking sounds, we need to move to the heavyweight champion of speaking techniques.
Oh, ready.
We teased it in the intro, and I want to spend some real time on this because it involves the music of the language.
Yes, the shadowing technique. I've heard this term thrown around a lot in language apps and on YouTube videos, but usually people just say listen and repeat. Is that it? Is it that simple?
No. That is absolutely not it. And that's why it fails for so many people. Listen and repeat is what we did in high school language labs in the 1990s.
Right. You listen to a sentence, then there's a beep, then you repeat it.
It's passive, it's disconnected. Shadowing, or echoing as it's sometimes called, is active. It is about simultaneous mimicry.
Simultaneous. Sounds chaotic. How can I speak at the same time as the person I'm listening to? My brain would explode.
It takes a little practice to get the hang of it. Here are the mechanics. You find a short audio clip of a native speaker. Maybe 20 to 30 seconds is a good start. You play it, and you start speaking almost at the same time as them.
Almost.
You are just a split second behind them, maybe 200 milliseconds. You are their shadow. Where the body goes, the shadow follows instantly. You don't wait.
So you aren't waiting for them to finish the sentence and then repeating it?
No, absolutely not. You are riding the wave of their voice. You are surfing on their intonation.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But why is this so much better than just repeating?
Because of prosody.
Prosody. That's a fancy linguistics word. Break that down for us. What is prosody?
Prosody is the music of a language. It includes the rhythm, the stress, the intonation, the pitch, the melody, all the things that aren't the words themselves. And here is the critical thing that most learners don't know. English is a stress-timed language.
Okay, stress-timed. And what's the alternative?
The alternative is a syllable-timed language. Many languages are, like Spanish, French, Italian, or Japanese. In a syllable-timed language, every syllable gets roughly the same amount of time and emphasis. Da-da-da-da. It's like a machine gun, a very regular beat.
Right, like in Spanish. Me llamo Alejandro. Very even syllables.
Exactly. But English is not like that at all. English is Morse code. It's da-da-da-da-da-da.
Long story short. Long short.
Yes. We have stressed words, usually the important ones like nouns and verbs that we make long and loud and clear. And then we have unstressed words like prepositions, articles, auxiliary verbs that we crush into tiny, fast, almost inaudible sounds. We eat them.
This explains so much. It explains why learners often sound robotic.
It does.
They're applying the machine gun rhythm from their native language to the Morse code language of English. They're pronouncing every single word perfectly clearly. I want to go to
The
store.
And to a native ear, that sounds a little bit aggressive and very unnatural. We would say, I want to go to the store.
Right, wanna and duh.
The want to becomes wanna. The to the becomes a tiny blip, a T. Shadowing forces you to learn this physical rhythm. When you shadow, you don't have time to pronounce every word perfectly. You have to speed up and slow down to match the original speaker. You are forced to eat the small words.
So you're learning the rhythm through physical sensation, through mimicry, not by studying a rule about weak forms or the schwa sound.
Correct. You are bypassing the analytical brain and training the ear and the mouth directly. You're copying the emotion. If the speaker sounds angry, you try to sound angry. If they whisper, you whisper. If they pause for a breath, you pause for a breath.
It's like becoming a vocal actor.
In a way, yes.
So if I wanted to try this today, what's the step-by-step guide so I don't get overwhelmed and mess it up?
Okay, step 1. Choose your material. This is crucial. Don't pick something that's too hard. If you are intermediate, don't try to shadow a fast-paced rap song or a complex legal debate.
That would be a disaster.
Pick something slightly above your current level. Podcasts like this one are actually great because we speak clearly, but in a natural conversational rhythm. Interviews are also excellent.
Okay, so I got my 30-second clip. What's step 2?
Listen to the clip once or twice just to understand the general meaning. You need to know what they are saying before you can mimic how they are saying it.
Okay, understand first. Step 3.
Now, there are 2 versions here, depending on your level. For beginners, I recommend text-aided shadowing.
Text-aided.
That means you read the transcript while you listen and speak along. This helps your brain connect the sound you hear to the written word you see.
And for the more advanced folks,
Blind shadowing.
no text, just your ears and your mouth. You hit play and you just start mumbling along if you have to.
Yeah.
Try to mimic everything. It will feel messy and chaotic at first. You will miss words. That is okay. Focus on the melody.
Da 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 da.
It's like karaoke for talking.
It is exactly like karaoke. You don't need to be a professional singer to enjoy karaoke, but doing it helps you learn the rhythm and melody of the song. Do this for 10 minutes a day, and I promise you, within 2 or 3 weeks, your pronunciation and your fluency will transform. Your mouth will just feel more English.
That is a massive promise, but the science behind it really backs it up. Listeners, you can try shadowing right now. Take the last sentence I just said. Rewind this podcast 10 seconds and try to say it exactly as I did. Match my speed, match my pitch. See how it feels in your mouth.
A great idea.
And if you find this technique shadowing interesting, or if you've tried it and it worked for you, we want to know. Leave a comment or send us a message. And again, if you want more of these practical tricks, please subscribe to your English podcast. We love sharing these secrets with you.
We really do. So we've covered shadowing, which helps with the music and the rhythm, but we still need to talk about the bricks, the words themselves. Because sometimes learners get stuck trying to string individual words together like beads on a necklace.
All right, the beads on a necklace approach. I learned the word I, then I learned want, then to, then go. It feels very disjointed, and it's so slow.
It is painfully slow. And the secret is, fluent speakers don't speak in individual words. We speak in chunks.
Chunks? You mean like blocks of Legos?
Exactly like Legos. This is an idea from something called the lexical approach. The core idea is that the brain doesn't just store isolated words in its dictionary. It stores thousands of prefabricated phrases.
Okay.
So when I see a friend on the street, my brain doesn't think, "How are you?" as 3 separate beads on a necklace. My brain retrieves a single sound unit, a single chunk. How were you?
How were you? It really does sound like one word when you say it fast.
It functions as one word, or take a phrase like, "I was wondering if." That is a chunk. You shouldn't be analyzing the grammar of the past, continuous there. You should just learn that entire block as a polite way to start a request.
This sounds like a huge shortcut. Instead of building the house brick by brick every single time you want to speak, you're using these pre-made walls and windows.
That is a perfect metaphor. And this brings us right back to cognitive load.
Right, the brain overheating.
There's a famous concept from psychology called Miller's Law. It basically says that the human working memory, or short-term memory, can only hold about 7 items at once, give or take 2.
Okay, 7 slots in my brain's RAM.
Pretty much. So if you are trying to build a sentence and you are treating every single word as a separate item, a 10-word sentence completely crashes your system.
Let's see, I won with 2, like 3 to 4, no, 5 if. I'm already at 6 items. I'm out of memory.
Exactly. You have no brain power left to listen to the answer or think about anything else. But if, I would like to know, is one chunk, one item in your memory?
Then I've only used 1 slot. I have 6 left.
You have plenty of memory left. It's a light bulb moment when you realize this. By learning in chunks, you are essentially hacking Miller's Law. You are compressing the data.
So the practical advice here is to stop memorizing long vocabulary lists of random nouns and verbs.
Yes. Stop memorizing house dog. Run. Start memorizing functional chunks. By the way, nice to meet you. What do you think, on the other hand?
And from this idea, we can create what we might call a survival kit, right?
Yes. Every learner should build their own personal survival kit of maybe 5 to 7 phrases that they have mastered so completely they can say them without thinking.
And these are your safety nets in a conversation.
They're your safety nets. They are filler phrases or conversation lubricants.
Give us some specific examples. What should be in my survival kit?
Well, you need phrases that buy you time to think. Because the silence is what scares us, right? That awkward pause. So instead of standing there saying, uh-huh, you learn to say fluently and confidently. That's a good point. Let me think about that for a second.
That buys you at least 3 seconds.
That buys you 3 seconds, and you sound fluent and thoughtful while you say it. Or you could use, to be honest with you, or as far as I know, or what I'm trying to say is...
It looks like, it seems that, correct me if I'm wrong, but...
Exactly. If you have these ready to go, your anxiety level just plummets. You know that no matter what question someone asks you, you have a way to start your answer. You can keep the ball rolling.
I love that. Build your survival kit. Master those chunks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been very focused on the individual learner, practicing alone in their house, shadowing alone, narrating alone.
All the solo work.
But eventually, we have to leave the house. We have to take this out into the real world.
We do. And that is the scary part. But it's also the most rewarding part. It's why we do all this in the first place.
You mentioned earlier how fear holds people back.
Yeah.
One great way to overcome that fear in the real world is to seek out what we can call micro-interactions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us more about micro-interactions. How is that different from a conversation?
A conversation implies a long, unpredictable exchange. That's very high pressure. A micro-interaction is short, it's scripted, and it's predictable. So if you live in an English-speaking country or you are traveling, don't start by trying to have a deep conversation about politics at a bar. That's jumping into the deep end. Start small.
Like ordering a coffee.
Ordering a coffee is the perfect example. Or asking someone for the time. Or asking a shop assistant, "Excuse me, where can I find the milk?"
These are what we call low-stakes interactions.
Low stakes, exactly. If you make a mistake asking for milk, what's the worst that can happen? They point you to the milk. The world doesn't end. Nobody is going to laugh at you.
And because these interactions are so predictable, you know the barista's going to ask what size, and for here to go, you can rehearse them.
Yes. You could practice your script before you even walk into the coffee shop. You can visualize success.
And every time you succeed in one of these tiny micro-interactions, you get a little hit of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical.
Right. You think, hey, I did it. I spoke English and I got my coffee and nothing bad happened.
And that builds your confidence brick by brick, one coffee at a time.
But what about our listeners who aren't living in an English-speaking country? We have listeners in Brazil, in Japan, in Russia, in Germany. What if they are in a place where nobody speaks English on the street? How do they get this practice?
That is a very common challenge, but I have to be a little tough here.
Yeah.
In the digital age, it is not an excuse anymore.
Okay.
The internet has completely dissolved those borders. There are so many vibrant digital communities.
Right. We have language exchange apps now where you can find someone to talk to on the other side of the world instantly.
Yes. Apps like HelloTalk or Tandem, where you can trade your native language for English practice. There are virtual language cafes on Zoom. There are online tutors on platforms like italki or Preply, where you can find a professional speaking partner for just a few dollars.
And there's another angle that I really love, which is connecting through hobbies.
This is huge. This is maybe the best way. If you love gaming, for example, you're a gamer, aren't you?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played on North American servers where I had to coordinate with teammates in English to win.
Exactly. And in that moment, you aren't studying English, are you? You are trying to win the game. You are shouting, "Look out behind you," or "Go left, go left."
The English is just a tool to achieve a goal I care about.
It's a tool. This is Krashen's input hypothesis in action. You are so focused on the message, on the goal, that you forget to be afraid of the language. Your affective filter drops to 0.
And the same goes for anything. Cooking, coding, knitting, gardening. Join a Reddit forum or a Discord server about your hobby.
The focus shifts from "I am learning a language," which is stressful, to "I'm communicating with people who like what I like," which is fun. It becomes about connection, not perfection.
And that is when fluency really happens, isn't it? When you stop obsessing over the grammar and start just using the language to connect with another human being. That's the magic.
That is the entire point.
It feels like we're moving into the mindset territory again. We've covered all these techniques, shadowing, chunks, narrating, but maintaining this effort over months and years.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, the motivation.
It is hard, and we need to be really honest with our listeners. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a lifelong journey, really.
And I think people get so discouraged because they hit what we call the intermediate plateau.
Ah, the plateau.
Or they just have a bad English day.
Yeah.
You know those days, you have a week where you feel great, you feel fluent and confident, and then suddenly you wake up on a Tuesday and you can't remember the word for apple, and you feel like you've gone backward 3 months.
That is completely 100% normal. I cannot stress this enough.
Everyone feels this.
Everyone. Progress is not a straight line up. It is a messy, squiggly line. It goes up, it goes down, it goes flat for a long time. There will be days where your brain just refuses to cooperate.
So what do we do on those days? Do we just give up?
No, you practice self-compassion. You don't beat yourself up. You don't say, "I'm stupid." You say, "My brain is tired today." You remind yourself of how far you have come. You go back and listen to that recording from 6 months ago.
Right. Look at the evidence of your progress.
And you celebrate the small wins. Did you understand a joke in a movie? That is a huge win. Humor is one of the hardest things to understand in another language. Did you send an important email without using Google Translate? That is a win.
Focus on what you can do, not just on what you can't do yet.
And please, find the fun. This is my biggest piece of advice. If you are not having fun, you will not stick with it. It's that simple. If you hate reading news articles, stop reading news articles.
Let's read comic books instead.
Read comic books. Watch YouTube videos about cats. Watch makeup tutorials. Do whatever it is that makes you smile.
English shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be a bitter medicine you force yourself to take.
Yeah.
It should be a key that unlocks cool stuff that you are genuinely interested in.
Exactly. If you enjoy the process, if you are engaged with the content, the fluency will come as a byproduct. It will come naturally because you will put in the hundreds of hours required without even realizing it. You'll be in the flow state.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. We have covered so much ground, From the anatomy of the tongue to the psychology of online gaming. Let's do a quick recap for everyone before we sign off, just to lock in these key takeaways.
Let's do it. Let's sum it up. Number 1, treat English like a physical skill, not a textbook subject. Remember the piano analogy. Train your muscles.
Right. It's a workout for your mouth. Number 2, stop translating. Start narrating your life and playing the naming game to build that direct connection between a concept and an English word.
Number 3, embrace mistakes. They are not failures. They are just data points. Record yourself and listen later to become your own teacher.
Number 4, use shadowing the right way to master the music, the rhythm, and the stress timing of the language. Don't just repeat, mimic.
Number 5, learn in chunks, not individual words. Hack your cognitive load and build your survival kit of filler phrases.
And finally, step out into the real world. Start with tiny micro interactions to build confidence and find the fun in the journey by connecting it to your hobbies.
That's the roadmap.
It's a powerful one. I really hope everyone listening feels a little less alone in their frustration and a lot more equipped to tackle it now.
Yeah.
You have the tools. Now you just need to pick up that kettle and start narrating.
I hope so too. And I want to leave all of you with one final thought. A lot of people say, I will speak when I am perfect. They wait and wait for this magical day, but that is completely backward. You don't wait to be perfect to speak. You speak to become perfect. Every single time you open your mouth, every time you stumble, every time you make a mistake, you are taking one more step on the road to fluency.
Speak to become perfect. I love that. A perfect way to end. Thank you so much for listening to your English podcast today. We really, really appreciate you spending this hour with us.
Yes, thank you for your time and your trust. It's a real privilege to be part of your learning journey. See you next time.
And one last time, if you found value in this deep dive, please subscribe so we can keep learning together. Keep talking, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.